Horror show stuff for Manchester United as they crash out of the EFL Cup second round against Grimsby Town on penalties. Absolute disaster. Went the full length. Onana even had to take a penalty, one of the better penalties, all things considered. And Mbumo and Mbumo hits the fucking post. And United crash out in disastrous style. Honestly, could have lost in full time. Grimsby came at us. 2 goalie errors once again from André Onana. Welcome back to the squad, lad. And United fight back late. Hero ball stuff, and Mbumo gets a nice goal. Maguire gets a scrappy in the box goal, and United lose on penalties. And United's season is getting from bad to worse. It's early. It's August 27th, but things already feel like they're falling apart.
If I speak, I'm going to be in big trouble. Big trouble, sir. Look, it's absolute disaster class for Manchester United. It's the same old hype, red meat transfers. It's the no serious director of football, not managing the team. Look, Amrīm, he needs time. Look, everyone's going to kill me for saying it, but he came in last season and he basically just managed the shit show that was left over from Erik ten Hag. Ineos finally back him kind of in the window, and he's really 3 games into this tenure. Now, these 3 games are horrid, and we got to turn it around, but we can't be sacking our manager after 3 games, despite the disaster class that is Grimsby Town. I wish it wasn't so, but Manchester United, this rebuild is going to take a lot of time, and if we can finish in the top half of the table this season, that's going to be a win. The fact we got Burnley and then 2 weeks off could be a blessing in disguise. It's all about Burnley. It's on to Grimsby. It's on to Burnley right now. And Manchester United, as fans, we got to keep our heads and we got to focus on just doing whatever we can to get a result against Burnley and putting Grimsby Town behind us. But, sir, let's get into the match recap. The starting 11, we had André Onana. That nickname is one of the best, and it continues to continue to ride that one. Heaven, Maguire, Fredrickson, back 3. Dogu, left wing back. Ugarte, Mano, midfield. Delo at right wing back. Cunha, Diallo, Sesko up front. Strong 11 from Amrīm. What did you think?
You know, I thought it was strong. It's a team that should be able to take it to a Grimsby side. Sheshko gets his first start. Ahmad finally plays in the attacking position, which I like to see next to Cunha. Manu gets his moment with Ugarte. On paper, it was like, this is a really strong 11 that should have no problem against a Grimsby side that's in League 2 that we haven't played since the 40s. And boy, was I wrong, because the team was a mess. It was just, everything went from bad to worse. They had some chances early, and we can get right into it, sir. But they scored in the 22nd minute, from like a low-driven shot that Onana probably could have done better on. But to be fair, the player was pretty close to net. They got a goal in the net afterwards, like 5 minutes later in the 28th minute. That was pulled back because of offsides and a clear handball. And then they scored again in the 30th minute. This time it's just like a proper, from a corner, goes to the punch out, misses. Maybe there's a handball, but whatever. It's like a disastrous goalkeeping display in that opening 30 minutes. And that was basically the first half. Sesko had a little bit of a chance, but we were sloppy as shit. They were coming at us. Everything went wrong and everything looked wrong.
Yeah, and then we decided in the second half to throw on the kitchen sink. We've seen this before. Look, we saw it with Erik ten Hag. Underperforming against League 2 sides. When the team was down, you throw every attacking component you have on the field, and we did just that. But look, we also almost conceded another goal to Grimsby that was called offsides. Mbumo would get his goal. That's a great curling effort for Mbumo. Like I said, he threw on the kitchen sink, and then Maguire would get the header to save it, to tie it. I thought at that point we did enough. Going into penalties, who would have thought? We haven't gone past keepers ever in my memory. We went to keepers with Villarreal. Onana, to be fair, great penalty take from both keepers. And it was, unfortunately, Cunha who had the 5th penalty spot, who could have won it for United. Horrible pen for him. And then Mbumo missing off the bar. So, our 2 new signings, you almost don't want these guys to be in these situations. I feel like United losing the way we did, having these guys miss, it's just another confidence hit that we got to overcome. And so United almost would be better off, in my opinion, losing in just regular time to Grimsby instead of having our 2 new signings, miss these penalties. Grimsby support is great. English football, this is what it's about. The other side of the coin, a League 2 side can come out and beat Manchester United, and they did it, but we dominated on the stat sheet, but no one's going to remember that. Everyone's going to be mad at Amrīm, who was sitting on the bench with his head down, shaking his head the entire time they were taking penalties.
Not even watching the penalties. I haven't seen that before. At the same time, sir, Let's put it behind. The one thing I can think of, one positive. The one positive is he actually threw in the kitchen sink in a way that he was not even willing to do in Europa League and pulling off his back three. He didn't do that in Bilbao, and he actually did tonight. Maybe that's what actually got us into penalties. But hey, that's the only thing.
Great point.
That's the only thing I can pull from this, because he did not do that against Spurs. He did it against Grimsby Town. I think he knows how dire things are. Let's put this behind us. It's all about Burnley, sir. A horrible match, the good, the bad. There's not much good.
But what do you say to fans? What do you say to fans right now that like you're more on you're getting irritated with the system with Ruben Amrīm? We got to talk about it. It's got to be the highlight that if you can't beat Grimsby Town with this system and you're adjusting from the system, which we've rarely seen, that's not a good sign for this manager. And he's been on the back foot. Good performance against Arsenal. Fulham, the Bluffers let him down. Now Grimsby Town. Even I thought we would handedly beat them and then beat Burnley, and it'd be like, hey, what can we do during international break to really shore up the shop, maybe get another goalkeeper in? But right now, the team is reeling. Kobe Mainu news. I just feel like there's so much of a dumpster fire going on at United. It's really hard to get a grip, and you're looking at a manager who, even if he is a good manager, even if he leaves United and accomplishes great things, like we ruin managers, we ruin players, and there's just no stability at Manchester United. So, I think everyone deserves blame, including him, and the results, these are the worst results that we've ever seen, sir. So, out of the EFL Cup, this is something that we could have probably enjoyed as fans or had something to look forward to if we're not going to compete in European football, get frisky into competition. We saw that under Erik ten Hag. So, how are you feeling about Ruben Amrīm, the system, 3 games in? Is everyone right to be losing their heads?
I have real concerns. Obviously last year we gave him a bit of a pass because he came in mid-season, but he's not the first manager that's come in mid-season. It's something we've done better. So I think his reluctance to shift things at all in terms of this system could be what kills him. Because at the end of the day, what manager in history, what elite manager in history is I play one system and one system only and fuck you otherwise? I'd never seen that before. Our manager, the greatest manager in history, Alex Ferguson, literally shifted his modes from decade to decade, depending on the players he had, depending on the Premier League and how opponents set up against him. And it's you have to be tactically flexible and be able to shift from game to game as needed. And I think he actually did that finally at the end of this game. But that being said, stubbornness can kill you. If you're too, you should have hard, strong conviction about things. But at the end of the day, if you're too stubborn, that'll bury you in the ground. And I'm worried that he's too stubborn.
Yeah, and, we can't make too much of this Grimsby Town match. Look at the stat sheet. We, dominated them, 71% of the ball, 28 shots, 9-4 on target. I don't know exactly the XG. Mbumo comes good for his goal. We had quite a bit of chances when we kind of threw the kitchen sink on. We have the talent. We're lacking confidence, and I think ultimately it comes down to Burnley. And the way this is setting up for United can actually be a good thing, where it's been a rough start. Absolute mare. You should beat Grimsby. You should beat Fulham. We don't, and that really put us in a hole. It is not sack the manager hole, in my opinion. It's beat Burnley and retool during international break so we can actually come out and try to get a result against Chelsea and City when we play them on the other side. So this is all about Burnley, sir. This is we can't just keep. The rage can only get so high, sir. The rent can only get so high. And I feel like on Twitter, the rage is very high for Manchester United. But as much as it sucks, get the hot sauce, get the salt, season this L, eat it up, and we go again against Burnley. Lose against Burnley, we're in real trouble. We can save face with a convincing win against Burnley, and let's do so, sir. Let's get in to the Burnley preview proper. We're breaking down Burnley versus Manchester United. It's Saturday, August 30th, 7 a.m. Good sign is that we got a game real close. We don't have to wait too long, sir. It's Wednesday. We play Saturday. Only 3 days. We have to hear the outrage in the English press about Ruben Amrīm and everything. And before we can put a result on the board, it's game week 3. We're playing at home, the Fortress, Old Trafford, Theatre of Dreams. It's on the kit. You should read it, sir. You can watch it in the United States on Peacock. Burnley, they came up. We should be beating them handily, just like Grimsby.
Game week 3. We're 5% of the way through the Premier League season. It's not even Labor Day yet. It's unbelievable. And the real thing is, sir, this game is not just a game because it's the game before international break. And the game before international break is so important because however you end that game week is how the tone is set for the next 2 weeks, as the transfer window will still continue outside of England. It's going to be live in Saudi Arabia, live in Turkey. And this is so important. It's so important to take the Grimsby taste out of our mouth. And it's so important to put a good winning taste in our mouth for those 2 weeks. Give the boys some joy. Because if you don't, we're going to be in fucking hell. Sorry.
I think we're already there, sir. Give us our weather for Burnley Saturday. Looks to be chance of rain.
Low 60s, chance of rain. They're playing at Old Trafford. The game's on Peacock. That's where you can watch. Also, American Red Devils are doing a live stream on YouTube. Let's get into Burnley, sir. Tell us about the Builders. They're not the Builders, but you and I have famously called them the Builders and their stadium Turf Mordor, even though this one will be at Old Trafford.
Yeah, look, Burnley, great side. They're called the Clarets, but we call them Burnley the Builders because of the Lego objects in their logo. Their stadium is a riot. Turf Moor or Turf Mordor. We're used to them coming in, playing the low block, being extraordinarily stubborn. They were founded in 1882, and they were the first to become professional. They were paying their players when people thought that was very taboo back in the day. They have a long-standing rivalry with nearby club Blackburn Rovers, which they contest the East Lancashire Derby. Sir, Blackburn Rovers, they were a titan of the Premier League back in the day, but no more. They've been up and down, and now they are back under Scott Parker. They're straight back up, and they have a 33-match unbeaten run in that run in the championship to get back up to the Premier League, which is amazing. Scott Parker, if you want to get into the manager, sir, tell us a little bit about the man.
Yeah, obviously Scott Parker got them back into the Premier League last season after they got relegated under Vincent Kompany in 2022. That was funny. How did he end up at Bayern Munich? What a run there. But Scott Parker, 45-year-old, former England manager. He had obviously career with promotions at Fulham and Bournemouth, and he was appointed after Kompany's exit. And he was very, very...
England midfielder. He was never the manager of England. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Midfielder of England. When he came in after the exit of Vincent Kompany, tightened Burnley's structure, emphasized defensive discipline and repetition, and like to blend possession with pragmatic risk management. So they're a team that likes to set up in the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, compact distances between the lines. He likes to advance the fullback selectively and then pivot his screens to reset tempo. You talked about the mid-block. It's the default, and they like to do aggressive engagement in the half spaces. Also, very much around the low block build-up, measure possession with clear exit routes, and the goalkeeper and center back circulate until angles appear. They're very good on counters. They do it targeted rather than constantly. And they also, once again, another one of these teams coming up in the championship, set pieces. One of United's weaknesses, but he's a very good manager. They're a very good team. And they're very good defensively. So this is a game where you don't want to concede early because they're going to be hard to break down. They're going to love to just sit back, like I said, in that low block and just fucking,
they are who we thought they were, sir. They're going to defend low. They're going to counter us. United can't be open in the midfield. We have to get it together. Games versus Burnley played them quite a bit. 67 games won for United, drawn 25, lost 45. And if we look at the last 5 games, won 3, drew 2, sir. United need to come in with that mentality. It's a result. Now we're in results territory. When you're struggling as much as Manchester United are, it's all about the results. Tell me about the player to watch for Burnley.
Player to watch this week is Leslie Ugachukwu, a highly rated CDM, someone actually I was keeping an eye on. Chelsea sold this summer. They bought him for £21 million. He's basically your poor man Balaba, high work rate CDM, very, very physical. I think he's a player to watch. If we lose the game in the midfield, he will be the reason why. The game will be won or lost in the midfield. So Leslie, a player to watch. He's probably the player that you go get after Burnley get relegated and Balaba goes to a higher performing club because he's a real talent and just speaks to Chelsea having players go out of their ears. Recent record, sir. They started off tough. They got rolled by Tottenham in the league 3-0, and then they had a nice victory against Sunderland at home 2-0, and then yesterday they moved on in the EFL Cup 2-1 against Derby County.
I'm still in shock that we are at it. We're recording this right after the Grimsby Town game. I'm in shock. I'm literally in shock still that we ended up losing. Looking at the Burnley starting 11, Dubravka and that came over from Newcastle late. Hannibal Mejbri, you remember that name. You just mentioned the midfielder, but they're playing the 4-2-3-1. Not afraid of any of the Burnley. I'm not focused on Burnley. I am focused on Manchester United, sir. Let's go. What do we think? United starting 11. Let's look at Fulham, our last game in the league. Bayern Deer in net. I think it's safe to say that Onana is not going to play this game. Luke Shaw, DeLitt, Euro back 3. We had Dogu left wing back, Bruno Casemiro midfield 2, Diallo right wing back, Mbumo, Mount, and Kuna up front. All those players played. Probably too many minutes, not enough rest for Manchester United. Burnley, they also played midweek, which is good for us because not a lot of teams did. Sir, any changes to this 11?
I'm doing this 11. I mean, I think one of the takeaways from just watching that Grimsby match is that Benjamin Sesko has work to do, like top prospect, but he ain't necessarily ready to rock and roll. I think you go for the high press, the Mount Kuna and Mbumo. You don't fuck with the midfield. Ugarte in it. He played a lot today, and you run this back. What do you think, sir? I mean, I think that's my consensus. Is like that's the best we got at the moment.
You got to go Delo. I think the team looked a little more structured. Plus, you have the Amon threat coming on as a sub. I think you start same thing. You don't put Sesko on as Kuna and Mbumo. This team looked most dangerous with this front three.
Sure.
You just got to be risk averse right now. You got to win. Kuna and Mbumo and Mount gonna give them trouble. You put Sesko on as a super sub. Odds. What do we got?
United, the favorites. I don't know if it's been refreshed since the Grimsby defeat, but United, big favorites, minus 310 at home, plus 400 for the draw, plus 700 for Burnley, the Builders. Who's up? You're up? I think you're up.
Sir, let's get it. We got match prediction, 94% win for Manchester United. I feel like the Muppets are getting absolutely cooked with the start to the season here. For our predictions, yes, I am up. And man, we need this Burnley win. And I am a Muppet. I'm going to call 2-1 to Manchester United. I think it's a favorite score that we usually predict when we're not confident about this team.
Not confident. What do you got? I'll tell you, I haven't been confident about this team since 2013. 1-0 Manchester United. I think we get a win. I think it's squeaky bum.
Clean sheet.
Bayern Deer, baby, has a big game.
All right. If you haven't participated in the prediction game, jump right in it. MUFC. Predict.com. You can predict all the Manchester United fixtures. But let's get into the transfer news. It's still transfer opportunity time here at the American Devils podcast. We're also going to be doing a live stream on YouTube for the closing of the transfer window, sir, on September 1st. Let's get into the Kobbie Mainoo news. There's been a little back and forth with him and Ruben Amrīm. Kobbie Mainoo apparently is not happy with the playing time he has gotten. He has struggled under Amrīm. He was kind of shoehorned into a 10 position last season. Now he's competing with Bruno allegedly after the last game. Amrīm said, hey, he's got to compete with Bruno to get that spot. He started against Grimsby Town. He's on 20K a week. I really think this is the agent irritating. He played well at the Euros. United should have bumped him up to, say, 80, 100K. He wants something like 200. But he has faded, given he had this amazing Euros performance. That's kind of when you probably want to cash in from an agent perspective. They delayed it. I do agree he's undervalued at 20K a week, but the deal he wants might be pushing higher. Plus, he's not playing under the manager. So lots of things going on here for Kobbie Mainoo. But the rumor that was very explosive is that we could be open to selling him for like 35, 40 million pounds. Like, that's really the mind-blowing rumor that's out there on the social media.
Yeah, and that there's a little bit of a falling out with the manager. He doesn't rate him necessarily. So, like you said, contract negotiations came to a head, I think, actually, as they were pushing out Dan Ashworth. Apparently, they were getting close. They pushed out Dan Ashworth, and then this went to the sideline. Obviously, hasn't been a kind of a marquee player under Ruben Amrīm, but he's got a lot of talent. We've seen how good he can be. Under Ten Hag in a number of finals. He was great in the FA Cup final, instrumental in that win against City. And like you said, he's open to the move. Ruben Amrīm prefers other players. And United, now there's been a lot of posturing. They're open to selling him. They're not open to sell him. He's staying at the club. But the fact is, apparently in January, Chelsea officials were quoted a £70 million pound asking price, and now there's a belief that they would take 45 or less. So I don't know what the fuck United is doing. I don't know if this is all a PSR play, just sell out the players that are homegrown, but I think he has a role to play, and I hate to say it, going all in on the new Sir Alex Ferguson, who has a 25% win rate in the league, just as he falls out with another youngster. That's what gives me the most angst. It's not that this guy is on the Mount Rushmore yet and is untouchable, but at the same time, this manager has a lot of fallouts with a lot of players, even more so than Erik ten Hag in some regards.
I think he's even with Erik ten. I think we just had two hardos that are falling out with our promising youngsters. United can sell these players, but you cannot sell them cheap. Garnacho, 60 million pounds. Look at the numbers. Look at the starts in the league, let alone. And we're going to sell him for 35.
Crazy.
It's embarrassing. United, and this is where the director of football comes in for me. We fired the best director of football in the country. By the way, director of football, they earn their marks selling players for good value. That's what they're marked to, net spend. And I feel like Amrīm is falling out publicly with players. That's hurting our valuations. The club just seems to be all over the place. We have too many players to sell. That obviously lowers their prices. We get desperate heading into the last day of the transfer window, falling out with another promising youngster. We cannot sell Kobe Mano. I'm not even just like in the Grimsby game, I was like, we're going to win this thing. I think there's no possible way we're going to sell Kobe Mano for $35 million. Like, I understand Garnacho. Somehow we're going to convince ourselves that that's a good deal. It is not a good deal. It is a bad one. Kobe Mano will not be sold by Manchester United. So I am just like, this is a lot of rumors, hopefully posturing. They'll give him $100K, sign another deal. This should be done. Maybe that deal could have a release clause. That might be the thing that the youngster is asking for. Next bit of news here, more selling from Manchester United. We're going to be talking about Garnacho, Chelsea. That is the deal. And speaking of selling youngsters and selling them cheap, we might be selling Garnacho for £32 million plus add-ons. There's a lot of rumors on the range, but I did see a firm number around 32.5 up to 40 with add-ons. Criminally underrated, criminally undervalued. And when you look at Ruben Amrīm, which is basically the reason why he is being sold for probably half his value, and we look at this project and where we are, look, he hasn't been good with Erik ten Hag. He is an issue, the Rashford jersey, etc. But if you cannot sell your youngsters, your promising youngsters, for the right valuation, you should not sell them.
No, I mean, here's the thing: is like we've always been one of the worst clubs. We've been one of the worst run clubs in the world, in the league for a long time, decade plus. Ineos have made some improvements, continue to make certain mistakes. We've always been horrible at recruitment, horrible at buying, horrible at selling. Our buying has gotten better. We still have issues in terms of prioritizing one area of the pitch instead of the entire pitch. But the players, we're buying better players at better fees. But the selling is disastrous. And if you perpetuate this cycle by selling a player that's worth at least 55 to 60 million on open market, given his stats, given what fucking Alanga went for, Madueke, all these other players who were like at his level. He's got the highest U23 goal and assist contribution, I think, over the last couple seasons, and you're going to give him away for free. I know they're doing it because it's a 3Xer. You sell him for 35. He's worth over 100 with PSR, but at the end of the day, this perpetuates the cycle. This lets clubs know they can get one after you.
He's going to a rival. He's going to Chelsea.
And he's going to fucking kill it. He'll kill it at Chelsea.
You have to sell to rivals at a premium.
No, you hold the line on this. You don't need the money that badly. This is nuts. This is fucking nuts.
But we do need the money that badly because we spend so much, and we have PSR issues. Regardless, it's going to be really interesting. Disaster. He's going to go for cheap. It's not a good deal. I do not like this business from the front office at Manchester United. It continues to be a problem. We're talking Casemiro. He got an offer from Saudi Arabia, doesn't want to play there. Saudi Arabia interested in multiple Manchester United players. We need the Saudi cash. Nobody wants to go to Saudi Arabia. Imagine getting rid of Casemiro. Imagine getting those wages off the books. He wants to run his contract down selfishly like everybody else to get a big fee up front, then go to Saudi Arabia. Manchester United having a mare in the transfer window.
Hey, I mean, what's really amazing is how many individual players at Manchester United, and he's not even in the bomb squad, like want to fuck United over to get a.
He's been a good player. He's a nice guy.
We overpaid by at least 2.5x for him. $70 million for his age was insane. Gave him crazy wages. He's been good. He was good in the first season, and then he dropped, and then he continues to drop. So the fact he's going to run down his contract, just like Sancho will, because that way they don't have to pay a fee and they can give him more wages. And also, apparently, he wants to keep angling for the World Cup squad with Brazil. He thinks he has a better chance to do so if he continues to play.
Yeah, but you're all killing United. You're all killing
no, they're all fucking United.
To learn how to move
they're all
players
stabbing
on.
us in the back, bro. They're all like, no loyalty in football no more. This one, you imagine if we could have foisted him for even $10 million just to get the wages off
for free.
Take him
for free to get. He's on $350 a week. It's crazy. United, tons of business to do. It all comes down to selling. Don't sell Manu. Fine. Sell Garnacho for 40 with add-ons. That's still criminally undervalued. It should be 45 up front, not a dime less. And that's cheap. That's way cheap for Chelsea. 50 with add-ons. I'm more comfortable with that type of range of a transaction.
It should be 50.
Casemiro, you're killing me. Højlund, we got to try to sell him. I mean, there's just too much work for United to do, and inevitably, all these players are going to come back into the team. Sancho's coming back into the team.
You see that
Antony's probably going to go to Betis on loan. That's going to be a nothing deal. So we're going to have a surplus of attacking talent. A lot of bomb squad members back in the side, and Ruben Amrīm shaking his head on the touchline sums it up against Grimsby Town. So this team, we are going nowhere when it comes to Manchester United and backing this club. We've been here for 8 years doing this podcast. We thought the glory days were going to be back under Mourinho, but we're here under Ruben Amrīm. And man, like I have the 1,000-yard stare already in August. My phone's blowing up. All the Scouts Bastard fans. I got so many texts of all these fans. I just got nothing.
Here's a good one. Anybody catch the League Cup today?
Yeah, exactly. We're just
Appreciate you, James, cutting us deep.
Yeah, we're getting roasted out here. Let's get into fan questions. What do you guys have to say? I'm sure you're very upset. I'm sure you're thrilled.
Very, very
calm. All right. The Alex Davis, 33. Quote, manager is too stubborn to change tactics and formation, showed no leadership sitting on the bench during Penn's pathetic display. Onana should never wear the shirt again. Sign Pim tonight. Give me Ole at the wheel. Currently, this club doesn't deserve to be called Manchester United. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. You know, like I think it's okay for a manager to sit on the bench during Penn's but like he's too stubborn.
He's definitely too stubborn.
He has a chance to stop the bleeding against Burnley. That's it. At TMO United, I'm slowly moving to Ruben out. This system is not working. He's doing nothing to convince me otherwise. If he refuses to experiment with a different formation and the losses keep piling up, he's got to go. The inflexibility is there for everyone to see. Here's the thing. I always said it. It's a results-based business. It's all about results, and his results are a mile away. Mile away. Is he the young gun? Does he have a great CV? Absolutely. Does he say all the right things? Sometimes. He bottled the final for me. He had a bad squad last year.
He should have won that final.
He still has an incomplete team. Still has an incomplete team, but for me, the thing about Amrīm is that he says crazy shit in the press he shouldn't, and he just bottled that final. That was really bad. That's the only thing I really got against. Obviously, 3 games in. Come on. Like, he's going to get more than this.
It's the final. It's the fallout with Garnacho the next day. It's everything's
so much fire.
It's all drama, bro.
But just like with Ten Hag, it was all drama, and I feel like we need calma. We need someone to calm it down, and unfortunately, like, you hate to say it, but when Ashworth said Southgate, that guy is calma, and I feel like United just need something like that. Like, everyone's just got to get along. We got to lower the drama, but the place is burning down. I hate it. But he's just only Mr. Nice Guy. Look, he said it. At Olsen Dillon, I don't have it to truly give up this club. I love it, but I might need to have a holiday in Series A. What are we doing? $70 million for a guy to miss a pen against Grimsby Town. There's no rhyme or reason to anything we do. We fired the one guy who had a plan after spending 20 to get him. So yeah, just killing us.
Keep going. What else I got? Dan Ashworth. Yeah, he's gone.
At D_Cole18, still got 10 players that need to be sold immediately. This was embarrassing. Onana's the worst PK performance I've ever seen. Worst goalkeeper in history. If this isn't a wake-up call to Sir Jim to bite the bullet and get these scrubs out for any fee, there's no saving us. It's a...
Keep going. Just keep going. It's cathartic, sir. Keep going. What else you got?
Let's go. Mike United Mets.
Come on, baby.
He's
top
usually
to bottom.
positive.
He's
Let's
usually
go,
pretty
Mike.
even keel.
Top to bottom failure today. The board for not having Lamens in by now. The manager for not being able to set this team up to beat 60 spots lower in the pyramid. The players for not showing up with the same hunger against the League Two side. Worst performance of the season. I think that is fair.
No doubt.
At you, Bosun. It's finally over. Everyone can go home. Turn off the lights. No.
Never.
It's not over. Here we go. Glass half full guy.
Help us.
J.M. McLiver. Quote, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. This one stunk. The lone bright spot for me is Maguire after the crap he went through and just to put his head down at work, help out this team in any capacity. We honestly could use more players like that. I like that. Maguire is always there fighting hard in these like crap games, trying to get a winner. Just like Leon, and that's more of the Manchester United we're used to. And AJ Freeman, 29. How does this get fixed? Can it get fixed? Or I think that's a good one to end on.
It can get fixed. It's the low, slow, boring way. It's the type of like old English appointments and Dan Ashworth that not as sexy as fucking old crotchety Sir Jim wanted, but what you needed, right? Like I don't think it was Southgate. I think it was more like a Thomas Frank. You need an EPL proven not goalkeeper, manager that knows how to do it, knows how to weather storms, knows how to turn defeats into draws and draws into victories. And the stubbornness will kill you. For a guy who's so young, you shouldn't be so fucking stubborn. Old men should be stubborn, not 40-year-old managers coming out of Portugal. So I think we need to just endure. I think we need to survive. We need to get a win on Burnley. And then we have by the way, do you know what we're playing after Burnley? We have some teams coming our way. So we have to win Burnley. We have to stop the bleeding. We have to stop the bleeding because this team is up and down and up and down. We're going to win the league. We're back in buck four. We're getting relegated. We're dead. We just have to endure and just hold the line and stop bleeding it out.
Burnley's our title. The Burnley's are Champions League final. Like Burnley right now for these players and this manager, Burnley's the Champions League final. Burnley at home,
most important game.
You lose that game, fans are going to show up and burn the mother down. It is going to be darkest before the dawn. When did you say that? 3-4 years ago? I'm waiting for the dawn, sir. It's getting really dark.
John, I don't even say it anymore, bro. I don't even say it anymore because I know it's I don't know. It's gonna get darker.
It's getting dark. It's getting really dark. I can't see nothing, sir. It's been getting dark for a long time, and so I'm here. I'm showing up every day for this team and this club. I love it, and we'll be back. And you got to just take the chirping from.
It was all con. It was all con. So Ruben Amrīm convinced Ineos to splash in another $100 million. Get me Balba.
I think this makes you not even want to spend money. As far as
it's true.
For me, I'm more of it's a multiple layered shit brick house that you got to look at, and it's Ineos came in, and I thought hiring Ashworth was the right move. He wanted a boring manager to probably help him rebuild the team and maybe not have all this squad drama. He got sacked. They brought in Barada, and Barada wanted Amrīm. They bring in Amrīm. He's another stubborn Erik ten Hag guy who's going to fall with more players where you can't even have the money to sign the replacements. And I just feel I think the fork of Dan Ashworth and firing him and what could have been with maybe a more boring manager and more focus on squad rebuilding in the four at the back formation versus the new sexy thing with a new system that you didn't have the money to go buy. It's clear. If you listen to the pod when we appointed Amrīm, I said it right then. We both said it. I said it was very controversial because he's hot. He was the hot thing. Everyone wanted him, but I'm like, hey guys, we do not need to change formation. We need to get someone who can stop the bleeding with what we got and sell pieces and move it around. And I feel like we always go for that quick fix. We always go for the red meat. And that doesn't service this club. But, sir, that's it. That's the podcast. You want to support us, check out our newsletter, AmericanRedDevils.com/newsletter. Also, check out our store, AmericanDevils.store. Store gives us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? How you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Dublin, Ireland, Brooklyn, New York. How are we doing? Charlotte, North Carolina, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Oslo, Norway, Orlando, Florida, and last but not least, Melbourne, Australia. Appreciate all the American Devils listen week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Always darkest for the dawn. Burnley or bust, baby. We're doing a live stream, 7 a.m. Pacific, Saturday, Peacock. Be there with us on YouTube. It's going to be a laugh riot.
Electric chair.
Laugh, cry, hugs all around. We're going to be there with you every step of the way.
And if you want to watch the video of us watching the Grimsby Town penalties, you can sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. I threw my headphones when we lost. If you want more behind-the-scenes ARD content, check it out. And we're going to leave you with United Calypso. It's on to Burnley. It's all about Burnley, baby. Let's go. Come on, United.